Master Thermo 850, the largest external canister filter made by Oase. Doesn't make a lot of noise, is the flow as good as Oase says it is, and is the heater capable of keeping the aquarium nice and warm? That's what we're gonna find out today. What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel, hope you're doing well. Today's video is all about the Oase Biomaster 850. I've been using this filter for almost 4 months now, so it's time to do a little review and give you guys my honest opinion about this filter. Of course, I'm not just gonna sit here and talk because that's a little bit boring. So I'm gonna put this beast to the test. So we're gonna do 3 tests. We're gonna do a sound test, see how much decibel of sound this filter is making. We're gonna do a flow test to see the actual output of the filter. And we're gonna do a test with the heater to see how quickly it's able to warm up this aquarium. In case you've never heard of the Biomaster filters, they are basically the premium range of external filters from Oase. They come in 250, 350, 600, and this is the largest one, the 850. And now you think that those numbers would indicate something with the flow rate, for example, which is true for the 250, which does 250 gallons per hour. But the numbers actually mean the maximum size of aquarium that these filters can be used for. So according to Oase, and I'm saying again, according to Oase, this filter is suitable for an aquarium up to 850 liters, which is quite big. This aquarium that I'm using it for is only 200 liters. Some of the features of this filter: on top we have the nozzles for the inflow and the outflow, and these can be moved in any direction, basically 360 degrees, which is really nice and convenient. On the back we have the heater. So this is the thermo version, which comes with a built-in heater, which is really nice. There's also a non-thermo version which comes without the heater, which is a little bit cheaper as well. And the good thing is, in case you change your mind and you want to add a heater, that's always possible. So Oase supplies these caps that you can basically close it with. And if you want to remove the heater or you want to add a heater, that's always possible with both the non-thermo as well as the thermo version. In front of the heater we have this big round blue cap, which is basically the priming mechanism, which I really like. I think every external filter needs a priming mechanism. So just by pressing this button once or twice, the filter will basically fill itself with water and can be started almost immediately. Underneath the big blue cap we have the removable pre-filter, which I think is the best feature of this filter, but we'll talk more about that later. So the 850 is a large filter, and when it's filled with water it's quite heavy. So Oase made this carrying handle on top of the filter, which is really handy, and it feels really solid as well. It's really strong, and then it's more than capable of carrying this weight of this filter. The same goes for the clamps. There's 4 blue clamps on each side. Again, these are really solid, feel really strong, and there's no chance that these are going to break anytime soon. Lastly, we have the 2 locking features in front. By unlocking the one on the right side, you are able to remove the inflow and the outflow. And when you unlock both of them, you're also able to remove the pre-filter. It's not possible to just unlock the left one. You first have to open the one on the right, following by the one on the left, and then you're able to remove the pre-filter. Okay, so that's everything that's on the outside of the filter. Now on the inside you really have a massive space for lots of filter media. I believe the total volume is almost 7 liters, I think 6.8 to be exact. And there's 7 baskets. So 7 big baskets that you can fill with your own choice of filter media. Oase supplies it with a lot of different sizes of filter foam, and there's also some biological filter media as well. And the type of filter media that is supplied in the box is perfectly fine for most people. Okay, so that was just a quick introduction into the Biomaster series. Now, to make this review a bit more interesting, we'll do 3 tests. I mean, I can tell you that this filter is very quiet, it has amazing flow, and the heater works like a charm. But I want to put some actual numbers to it. So we're going to start with the sound test. I've downloaded a decibel meter app on my phone. So I'm going to hold it close to the filter just for a few minutes so we can see some numbers, and then you can decide for yourself if you think that's quiet or not. Okay, that was a sound test. Not too bad, I think. So we have an average of 49 decibels with a maximum of 66 decibels. So just while it's running, it's producing about 49 decibels of sound. So the peaks, the ones that are up to 66 decibels, that's when the filter is basically blowing out some air bubbles, and that always makes a bit more sound, which actually happens quite often, but on a regular basis it's about 49 decibels, which yeah, I think is not too bad. Okay, next up is going to be the flow test. This one is going to be interesting. A bit of an explanation. What I'm trying to do here is trying to give you a realistic number of how much flow you can expect from this filter. So on the box it says that this filter has an output of 1550 liters per hour. That is, I think, 400 gallons per hour. Of course, this test is going to be way off because those numbers given by the manufacturer is always with an empty filter without any media inside, and it's always a bit of a stretch, I think. So my idea for this test is to put the outflow of the filter in this bucket right here. This bucket is 10 liters. So we're going to put the outflow in there, start the filter and start a timer. So we can measure how long it takes the filter to fill up this bucket. Then after we're done that, we should be able to do a little math and then measure the actual output of the Oase Biomaster 850. So let's give it a try. Okay, that was interesting. So you guys saw the number. To fill up a 10 liter bucket took 1 minute and 2 seconds. So let's make it easy, let's just say 1 minute. Multiply that by 60 means that we have an actual flow rate of 600 liters per hour. So that is a bit of a difference compared to the 1550 that's on the box. We do have to say a few things. This filter hasn't been cleaned since I started using it, so it's been 4 months since I cleaned it. I did clean the pre-filter twice already, so the pre-filter should be relatively clean. But also, I'm using a CO2 reactor behind this filter, so that's also reducing the flow a little bit. So it was to be expected that it would definitely be reduced. But 600 liters per hour, that was a bit of a shock. Okay, time for the last test. We're going to try out the heater. It's off right now, but I've added a temperature sensor inside the aquarium that is connected to my aquarium controller. So on the app I'm able to see the temperature. Right now it's 24.66, so 24.5 let's say. So we're going to turn on the heater and put it at 28 degrees and then see how quickly it's able to heat up the water basically. No idea how long it's going to take. I've never done anything like this, but yeah, let's have some fun. Let's put it to the test. Okay, so the water is currently warming up. In the meantime, we can continue with the video. I want to talk a little bit about my experience with this filter. So as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm using this filter for almost 4 months now, which isn't a very long time of course, but there's a few things that I want to point out. First up, the noise. So we just did a decibel test, and I have to say I'm quite happy with these results. But when I just got this filter, it was definitely a bit louder. Unfortunately, I did not do a decibel test back then because it would have been interesting to compare those results. Now, in my opinion, I think whenever you buy a new filter, they're always a bit more noisy in the beginning. I think as time passes by, the filter gets a bit more dirty, and inside the filter this biofilm starts to appear. And I think this biofilm sort of acts as lubricant because as time passes by, the filter always gets a bit more quiet. So as I said, I'm quite happy with the noise level right now. But yeah, just so you know, if you buy a new filter, it's a bit noisy in the beginning, just give it a bit more time. Another thing that I had issues with in the beginning is, let's call it burping. So literally every 2 minutes, this filter would like burst out a load of air bubbles, which I mean, I think is normal for that to happen in the very beginning, but not this long. You know what I mean? If you have a new filter and you fill up with new filter media, of course that filter media contains some air, and that air has to get out somehow, but it seemed like this filter was drawing air from the outside and still pushing it out. So luckily this has kind of stopped now. I mean, it still does burp once in a while, but I guess that's because I'm injecting a lot of CO2 and the plants are producing a lot of oxygen. So I think the burps that are happening right now are normal, are just a byproduct of aquascaping. I mean, I have 6 external filters right here and they all start to burp. Sounds so weird. All these external filters start to burp at the end of the day when there's a lot of CO2 has been injected and there's a lot of oxygen bubbles in the air. So it's normal that those micro bubbles get collected inside the filter and they have to get out, you know. But in the beginning it was very unusual for this to happen so often and for such a long period as well. But anyway, I've done some research on this burping and it seems like other people have similar issues as well. And I think Oase is aware of the problem. So I think in the future when they bring out new filter models, maybe they can do something about this issue. So one more thing that I've experienced in these past 4 months, which is a little bit annoying, has everything to do with the pre-filter. Now don't get me wrong, this pre-filter is absolutely amazing. It's probably the best feature of this filter. But to remove it, that's a little bit annoying because this pre-filter is very long. I mean, for the 850 is the entire length of the filter, which is I think 55 centimeters, something like that. So I need a lot of space above the filter to be able to remove it. Now my cabinet is only 80 centimeters high. So in order to take out the pre-filter, I have to remove the filter from the cabinet, if that makes sense. I think this is something that Oase is aware of as well, because the Oase aquariums, the cabinets, have this special feature where you're able to roll out the filter because it's sitting on top of an elevated, wooden plank basically. I'm not sure how to describe it. So these are the only 3 issues that I have with this filter. Quite a long story, so let's balance it out with the things that I like about this filter. First of all, I really like the design and the way the filter is made. It just feels like a good quality product, you know? It feels like it's strong, it feels like it's solid, and you just know that this filter is gonna last you for many years to come. Another thing that I really like is the heater, the built-in heater. So summer is over and the cold days are coming again. So I'm just really happy that I don't have to have a visible heater inside the aquarium. All the equipment is nicely hidden inside the filter. And right now it's doing good. It's up to 26.5 degrees, so we're almost at 28. So yeah, I really like this built-in heater. And of course, I think the best feature is that removable pre-filter. Even though it's a bit hard to remove, it just makes maintenance a lot easier and a lot quicker. So I think it depends a little bit on what type of aquarium you have, but if you just clean that pre-filter on a regular basis, let's say maybe once a month, then you just never have to open the filter, because opening the filter and cleaning those sponges, that's something nobody likes to do, right? So yeah, I mean, if you can avoid that altogether just by cleaning the pre-filter, which is super easy, then yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Alright, here we go, 28 degrees. So we managed to reach 28 degrees in 1 hour and 40 minutes. I think that's quite fast, right? I mean, I've never seen anybody else do this test. But to increase the temperature by almost 4 degrees for 200 liters of water in less than 2 hours, yeah, I think that's pretty quick. So if there's anybody watching that needs to set up a discus tank for or whatever and needs very warm water and is considering the Oase Biomaster, here's the proof. The heater is more than capable. Alright, so that's it. That's my honest review / opinion about the Oase Biomaster Thermo 850, including some actual numbers. To sum it all up, I'm really happy with this filter. It's the best filter I've ever owned. I was a bit disappointed with the noise and the burps in the beginning. Luckily that's all finished now. And if I ever need another big canister filter in the future, I'll definitely go for the Biomaster again. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that like button. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.